Hi everyone, so my name's Alex and I'm from the Beyond BCA team here at the Berkshire College of Agriculture, and this is another episode of Talking Futures, and today we are joined by Andrew Try. Hi Andrew.
Hi Alex.
Hiya. So let me get this straight. So you are a business entrepreneur, is that correct?
That is the term that is regularly applied to what I do, Alex. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. So if we just start with basically introducing yourself, what is the day-to-day for you?
So my name is Andrew Try. I have been an entrepreneur since I was 24 years old. Since I came back from university, I've never worked for anybody else but myself. What is a day-to-day for me? Well, I can tell you it is as varied as any day. There is no such thing as a normal day, Alex, because the life of an entrepreneur is all about managing the challenges that come your way. I often refer to my business to my employees, where we have got 110 employees. And when I'm mentoring them or coaching them, I talk about being an entrepreneur with a small business, which ours is considered small, is like sailing a small boat in a large sea. Okay, so you've got your crew around you, and I often see myself as a sort of gentleman privateer in the sort of 16th century, so Walter Raleigh, and we're off on our ship, and we're going after that Spanish treasure, and we've got to cross the Atlantic, and we know the Caribbean is, at the far end, and it's going to be nice and sunny, and there's going to be treasure and beauteous, lands, etc., etc. But we've got to get over the Atlantic. We might come across a Spanish man o' war. The storms might come in. We might be in the doldrums, and that is a normal day for an entrepreneur. You're in a small business. You never know what's going to hit you. You never know if it's going to be plain sailing or the storm is going to roll in. You open that next email and boom, something hits you on the left, and you've got to work it out. And being an entrepreneur is all about being agile and flexible, but more than anything is about being a problem solver.
Okay.
And so it's about lateral thinking, because any plan that you put together is guaranteed not to work. Okay. I think it was Winston Churchill who said about planning, he said, plans are not worth the paper they're written on, but planning is essential. And so in our business at Connexo, we do a lot of planning, but we always know that whatever plan we write down tomorrow, you might as well throw it away, because things like the coronavirus hit you.
Sure, yeah.
So my normal day, there ain't one.
It sounds quite unpredictable, but quite exciting in the same breath, really.
If you like that adrenaline, fueled your lifestyle, then entrepreneurship is for you. It's anything but boring, I can tell you that.
So did you always know that you wanted to go into business and become an entrepreneur, or what was sort of your inspiration?
That's a very good question. I'm from a family of entrepreneurs, but the one single thing that made me realize I was going to be an entrepreneur rather than everything else was that I failed every exam that I ever took. And my parents, who, bless them, spent a fortune on my education. I rewarded them with at A-level a D, E, and an F. And so the options of university in the UK were out of the question. But they actually found me a university in America where the entrance exam, because I'm a dyslexic, so I'm not good at writing, and I find figures and that sort of thing difficult. But the entrance exam was what they call an SAT, and it was multiple choice. And so I had to just colour in a dot. And actually, I got into that university, and so I studied entrepreneurship at university in America for 5 years. And when I came out of that, I'd learned how to write a business plan. I'd learned about how to manage a small business and how to take something from an idea and actually get it done. And I set up my business.
And so Connexo was then born from that.
Well, Connexo is the sort of last of a number of different phases of the business. Then originally, when it was just me and I was answering phones, because we started off as a telephone answering business, and I was on the phones, we were called the Berkshire International Centre. Then it grew a bit, and we were called Pro Call, and then we got to quite a large size, and then we changed it to Connexo because I had an investor that insisted we have a .com after our name. So he insisted I threw away the great brand of Procol that I'd been building for 10 years, and we start with a new name, Comexo, which nobody can pronounce. But we've been Comexo now for 20 years, and we've got a great reputation, and we provide support business services to the professional service sector, mainly in the City of London, law firms and banks and hedge funds and private equity, people like PwC. I mean, so large organizations for agile and remote workforces.
Wow. Okay. So you're sort of the big boss of your company there. Do you have any pros and cons of being a boss? Like what are the highs and lows of your job?
Well, the highs are that you are a master of your own destiny. So you're the boss. You can decide which way you sail the boat. The cons are, of course, that everything that goes wrong eventually lands up on your desk. So you are the ultimate person in charge, and so whatever decision you make, you have to live and die by the consequences of that. And of course, the consequences of your actions don't always go the way that you want them to. So it's a bit about luck and a bit about judgment. But for me at Comexo, we say that we are building an organization which employs creative, energetic people with a passion for being the best. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning, working with the people who work with us, the teams, getting creative, problem solving. And we talk about challenging the status quo and building a better future. So we like to look at problems from a different angle. We like to throw away what's been done before, come up with new ideas, and change the way things are done. And that's the great, sort of highs of being a boss, at Comexo.
Amazing. And so you're probably going to have loads of different people that work alongside you and with you. And if we talk about like professional attributes and qualities that you look for in your employees, what would you say is probably up there?
Well, yeah, we look for a number of different things. The first thing at Comexo is we try and find out what makes an individual tick. So what you're really good at. So we don't try and put somebody who hates spreadsheets into the finance department, for example. So the first thing is we look for people who really enjoy what they do. The second thing we do is we look at people from whether we call it get it. Do they understand what we're trying to do? Do they want it? They want to be part of our team. So, they bounce out of bed every morning and go, I want to get to work. I'm really enthusiastic about what I'm going to do. And then the third thing is have the capacity to actually do the job. So, if you're a junior, we don't try and put you into a top position where you need 10 years experience, because clearly you'll fail. So wants it, gets it, and has the capacity to do it. And that's what we look for. So some good tips for the students at BCA. Get out of bed and turn up on time. Dress for your day. Okay, so don't come in shorts and a t-shirt unless you work in a creative industry. Don't be a mood hoover. Okay, always be upbeat, because nobody likes to work with a mood hoover. We've all got our problems. Leave them at the front door, and please don't moan on about them. But look forward and look enthusiastically and positively for the future. And the most important thing, of course, is have fun. Be somebody joyful that people want to be around.
Yeah, I love that. So I think a lot of it comes from being quite driven. Is that right? So
it's not about being driven. It's about being motivated. Okay. So you have a purpose for what you're doing. If you and that means choosing the right business to go into. So if you're particularly interested in sustainability and environmental and the health of the planet, probably not best to go into the oil business, because you're just not going to be driven by that. But so finding what your purpose is and what drives you and motivates you, that is what will mean that you will become driven, because you will have a goal. My advice to everybody is don't make money that goal. Money is something that comes along in time. But what will really drive you, through the highs and the lows is having a purpose over and above just trying to be the richest guy on the street.
Sure. And so we're talking about attributes then, but do you think there's any job that you had previously or like an experience that you had that maybe has helped you get to where you are now?
Plenty. I mentioned I came from a family of entrepreneurs and we were sent out to work at a very early age. During my university time, I worked every single day in a restaurant. It was a very smart restaurant, but what it taught me is how to distinguish between nice, kind people and complete idiots, and that has served me very well. It enables you to understand human nature, which was very good. I was very lucky when I was in Boston to work for somebody as an intern who went on to become a great entrepreneur in America on the West Coast. He's quite a famous guy now, and I worked as his intern, and he taught me that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. I would say that is true. Don't be put off by anybody who says, no, it can't be done. Particularly as an entrepreneur, the idea you come up with, everybody will say it's a daft idea until you do it. And then everybody will say, my God, why didn't I think of it? If you are passionately driven by your idea, of course, you want to take some pointers and guidance from the people that are closest to you. But if you think it's going to work, then go and make it work. Don't listen to people who say it's not going to work.
That's amazing advice. So that's probably great advice. Do you think that's maybe what you'd go back and tell your 18-year-old self? Or if you could go back to young you starting out, trying to become an entrepreneur, what would you go back and say to yourself?
I would say believe in yourself. Back your own judgment. Don't be swayed from your course by other people who always are trying to get you to do things in different ways. But never give up. You need resilience, and when I look back on my career, the things that I laugh about and are the bits that will make the great story if I ever write a book, and not the great times. They're the getting over the worst times. Their bumps in the road are far more interesting than the easygoing straight line motorway that you drive on. So, but for that, you need to be able to manage the lows. You need resilience. You need to be able to roll your sleeves up and say, don't worry, keep at it. There will be a sunnier day later down the track. And of course, if you're leading a group of employees, then you need to be the guy out front, roll the sleeves up and say, come on, we're off into the sunset, and keep them motivated. Absolutely.
That's fantastic advice. Okay, so final question for you then today, Andrew. What would you say is your biggest tip? We've spoken about a few different tips that you would give to different students, and especially like the business students who maybe are considering becoming an entrepreneur themselves. But what would you say is your biggest tip for those students?
Yeah, well, I have one tip for any aspiring entrepreneur. Stop talking about it and get on and do it. Words, what I'm trying to say there is words are cheap, and you can spend your life planning and doing business plans and reading books and studying other entrepreneurs and reading about Richard Branson. But every entrepreneur needs to get up one day and just do it. And my advice is make that today, not tomorrow, because the sooner you get on and do it, the sooner you'll start learning lessons, the sooner you'll get the experience, the sooner you'll have that immense piece of luck that will take you on your way, or you'll get the that strength from having to get over that huge disaster that you weren't seeing coming. And that is what forms the great entrepreneur.
That's amazing advice. I'm feeling incredibly motivated myself. So hopefully the students that hopefully watch this will feel as motivated as me. Well, thank you so much for talking to me, Andrew. I've learned so much, and hopefully the students will too. So thank you so much.
Good luck, everybody.
Thanks, Andrew.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Talking Futures, the video podcast that talks to different professionals from different industries. It was brought to you from the Beyond BCA team here at the Berkshire College of Agriculture.